Welcome to post-apocalyptic Megasota. It's time for a little more Fallout here at C Plus Content. So if you happen to be watching later on YouTube, it has been real time, many, many months. And as I was explaining to the guys, you know, how much I love to read and study every rule and follow them religiously and plan every single scene and script out dialogue and all that stuff. I started thinking about this in earnestness about 30 minutes ago. But that's no different than anything else. The only difference is that it's been so long that none of us really remember these characters or how the game works. So it'll be fine, is what I'm trying to say. Speaking of characters, let's introduce them. Hey, Rith, why don't you tell us about you and Royce?
So I'm Rith. You can pretty much find me here. I am playing Royce McClintock. He is a wastelander, a bit of a smooth talker, but he will rough you up if you have what he wants.
Villain. What's up with Stan?
Uh, I am your only villain. I play Stan Likely. I am a ghoul. Kind of like a drifter, outcast kind of guy. I'm just kind of just here, just trying to survive in the wasteland. I have partnered up with Roy up here. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. He's just trying to survive and get through the day. Govian?
I am Govan, and I am playing Mortimer, Mr. Handybot from the Fallout series. I am the protector / nanny / whatever you want to call it for Backwin or Zam in this game. But yeah, just the protector of him, and apparently the tank of the group.
Yeah.
I am the back one. I am playing Zam, who is started off very zealous and happy and fun, and is now very tired. A little scared because this zoo doesn't seem to be very zooish. Because we're looking for a bird. No matter what anybody else, including the narrator, says, we are looking for a bird for Zam, me. Also, my drink is sponsored by VBC Enterprises. So
Excellent.
there's that.
Excellent. Well, I don't think the pterodactyl flying around the artificial waterfall in the center of this, 8-10 story giant underground atrium filled with jungle and fake mountains is technically a bird. It does have feathers, or I guess that would be Archaeopteryx. It's a thing, it has feathers. So it's close. It's also very large. And it doesn't seem to be super interested in you. The large, long-necked saurian creature happily munching on palm tree fronds rolls one big eye kind of in your general direction, but also doesn't seem to be too perturbed. So if you'll remember, you have trekked here to the Como Zoo. You brought some Megasota guard with you, kind of as an escort. They didn't want to come in because they heard all kinds of horrible stories about the bad things that happened to people who entered the zoo grounds, and then those bad things happened to them, specifically a pack of velociraptors. Murdered them, like, hard. And you guys ran, but were let in. And you made your way down deep, deep, deep underground into this wonderful kind of, for those of you who have been to Minnesota, like the Mall of America, but bigger and full of dinosaurs. So yay, that's not weird at all. What you doing?
Well, kind of stunned of the scenery, I guess, after we step out of the elevator. I mean, that's a lot to take in. Especially the greenery. It's a lot to take in. From the dirt covered and grimy overworld, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Well,
Your voice
Sam.
Kind of looking around slack-jawed, like, where the hell are we?
Mortimer, what kind of bird is that thing up there?
Which one? There are a lot of birds.
The one that doesn't look like any of the birds from the pictures in the books that I had. So any of them?
I think it's called a swallow.
Because it would swallow you whole in one bite?
Yeah, that's the nickname that I've read in my backwards
Hmm.
databases.
Huh.
Well, we should probably figure out how to get out of here because these things are huge. And I don't think the guns or the equipment that we have is going to combat these things. So someone let us down here. So that means
Right.
there has to be a control station, workshop, something. Maybe we should go try to find that and get some answers.
Does sound like a good idea. But I don't know about the whole gun thing. So you are more equipped in that, Stan. So what I think we should do is probably sneak around because I don't know what kind of birds these are. They're definitely no squeakers.
A weird kind of honking sound, like a goose the size of a Cessna, echoes throughout the atrium. Hey, Stan, you know what you could do? You could try perception, see what you can spot.
Okay.
I think it's probably, oh gosh, like difficulty 1. Just to reflect the fact everyone's kind of been distracted by the vista, and this is the first time you're looking around.
So the goal is to roll under
Add
our...
or under your perception.
Okay. So both of those are fails.
You're just like,
It's a lot to take in.
well, and maybe also to particularly Stan, but also Royce, the fact that the rest of this facility is immaculately, spotlessly clean. Like white enamel, paint, glass, polished chrome. Like it's almost hard to look at. There's no rust. There's no grime. No one was sick in the corner 20 minutes ago. It's very alien to you.
That means Sam feels at home.
Actually, this is significantly nicer than Vault 113.
Well, you don't know. You weren't there.
They were there. They can absolutely say this was nicer, especially after you got done murdering all those raiders and scattering their bits throughout the entire place.
That was Stan's fault.
And it's now highly radioactive, so this place is definitely nicer than Vault 113. Sorry, it just is. Although Vault 113 had rad roaches and this has brontosauruses, so...
So is there like a clear like a walk? I don't want to say walkway, but like a balcony around the atrium, all the way around.
Yeah,
or...
and in stories above and below where you are, I think I remember you guys came in on like probably the 3rd or 4th story, so you're a bit above the level of the ground, and then you can kind of see on the opposite side that it continues up many levels. It's not perfectly rectangular; it's kind of squared off, a little bit like the sort of oval shape of a stadium.
Okay. Well, either we should go down and try to get Zam this bird.
Well, the bird is way up.
Go try to
flying around.
I don't think
birds go up.
Birds do go up, but they have to land sooner or later. Or would you try to find who's controlling this place? Those are my two options. How about everybody else?
If we find who's controlling the place, then we could find a smaller bird, which would be better. As much as it would be fun to ride the really big bird around, it'd be faster than walking. No, I think we'll go with the smaller bird.
Okay, so that's 2 for control. Royce?
Yeah. Yeah, let's find whoever runs this place.
Okay, 3 for Mortimer. You do have a say in this. What do you want to do?
I do not have a say in this, but we'll do what Zam needs to do, because I go where Zam goes.
All right, so Zam's vote counts as 2. Noted. All right, let's go try to find the control, I guess, station. And Dan's just going to kind of look one way, look the other way, and just kind of go, and to the right.
Okay.
Start walking.
Does anyone else want to look around? Like actively look for things? Like clues?
Suppose I could try. I do know how to read. I don't know if Stan can.
Oh, that's true. You do know how to read. That should help.
Yeah.
So
perception.
same difficulty 1 perception.
Yeah, those are fails.
Wow. You guys are just
We're going to
totally
look
taking-
around looking for exotic things to
Okay.
eat, basically. Both fails. Yep.
Mortimer?
We're doing great.
Well, you try a perception roll. Royce,
Sure.
everyone's just like wandering around.
We're tourists in a new place.
Okay. I don't exactly know how to read this because it's been a minute. I got a 3 and a 20.
Okay, and what is your perception attribute in your special?
My 6.
Yeah. Okay, so you succeed.
Okay.
So you succeed. You notice that kind of right in front of where you guys are standing. It's a little subtle. It's not like incredibly obvious. You'd have to actually glance and look around effectively to pick it up. But there's a little stand with a little sign on it and a little kind of faceted blue gem-like button. Visitors, please press for assistance, is what it says.
There is a call button over there that I think might be what y'all are looking for. It says press for assistance.
Who's going to push it? Because I ain't pushing it.
This is Zam's gonna look at Stan Royce and walk over to the button and just hover his hand over it.
Go
That's a
for it.
good
You know
idea.
underground giant places.
I do, but sometimes when you press buttons, they make loud noises, and the vault lacks really big animals, or any animals.
In the overworld, you press buttons like that, usually you lose a hand.
Yeah. Or city would blow up.
Sam is going to take his hand away from the button. Step back with Stan and Royce. Mortimer, press the button.
Okay. Reach out with my grabber and press the button and wait for assistance.
You press the button. There's a very satisfying click sound, and then nothing happens. And then you hear above you a little bit of a whooshy worry sound, and then a little iris in the ceiling opens up with a little snick, and a robot hovers down. It looks a little bit like Mortimer, but like a Like,
Mrs. Handy.
well, yeah, but if Mortimer is like an Edsel, this is one of like the full-on Cadillacs with the fins and the red, or actually in this case pink, with like white accents. She is done out. Obviously a luxury model. She'll float down, kind of spread her 3 eyes across all of you. Welcome, visitors, to DEF CON Alpha. It has been error since we had visitors. We're very glad to have you.
Did everyone say deaf or dead con?
DEF CON. De-extinction facility and containment unit.
Okay. Okay. Makes me feel at least a little bit better. So what
That
is
doesn't
this
sound like
place?
zoo.
Well, zoo. A place where animals are kept and observed and studied for science. It's very much like a zoo. But the animals that we keep here are very special.
So, not birds?
Not yet.
God damn it.
Although, birds are descended from avian dinosaurs.
Yeah. Stupid dinosaur.
They are the genetic ancestors of birds. So you might say better than birds. Hardy, more
Wow.
robust.
Nope.
Hey, Zam, maybe they want you. You're kind of special.
I'm not a dinosaur.
No,
Cool.
but you're not one of us. You've been in one of those vault things for so long.
As far as I understand your culture, Stan is probably older than I am.
Wow, we're not talking about age.
I think maybe one of her or the robot's hands will come over, and instead of having a flamethrower, it has some sort of weird retro futuristic probe device. And I think it'll wave it in Zam's general direction. Ah, genetic degradation, and indicative of serial cloning. A rudimentary
Fancy
technique.
words.
We've advanced past such things here at DEF CON. So, are you just passing through?
It sort of. But did you just call him a clone?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, it's sort of kind of just passing through. We're looking for a thing called a bird. A small bird, like a smallish bird. Not, I think, what that thing is flying around.
Oh, you'd like to visit the hatchery. Just a moment. She's going to go still, kind of bobbing up and down on her repulsor. I have notified Dr. Soros that you would like to examine the hatchery. He will meet you there.
Where's the hatchery? Which
It seems
direction?
that Dr. Soros is expecting you. Don't worry, this is a very large facility and you're extremely likely to get lost, especially with your puny mammalian brains. So I will assist you, and you see a little light strip light up on the floor, kind of leading you off to the left. And then down a nearby set of stairs.
Well, that was easy to get the pathing. Should we go to the hatchery? I want to look at the group.
Yeah.
Well, we have a no from Zam. And I'm
This is
fine
where they
with going
said
to
your
the
bird
hatchery.
is. That's the whole reason we're here.
I just asked them about birds, and they said they didn't have any birds. They said they just had dinosaurs. If we go to a hatchery, there was those little, I don't know, turkey-sized birds that killed the other guy that was with us. And if those things come out of hatchery, don't think they're going to be friendly.
Then I guess
Well.
we leave.
Well, see, listen. See, if you get it small enough, you can train it as your own. And then you can use it to attack people. Protect yourself out in the overworld.
The ladybot
There's
will
a
chime
doctor
in.
there.
Most species of saurians are in fact known to imprint upon those that they experience as their parents. Their intelligence varies, but they do possess the most interesting animal cunning and exceptional survival skills. It makes them perfectly suitable for repopulating the wasteland.
Exam? Not just one bodyguard, but 2.
So if I get the dinosaurs, I can replace you and Royce.
You get the dinosaurs. I would happy to be replaced.
All right. Guess we'll go to the hatchery.
Do you need any further assistance from me?
I think
I
so.
require a verbal yes or no.
Where's the way out of here as well?
Please follow the flashing lights.
All right.
Are they the same flashing lights?
Yes.
Damn it.
Royce will start down the path.
All right, I take that as a no. I have to go visit the aquatic habitat. Thank you for visiting, DEF CON. Back through. Yeah, you follow lights. It's a little bit of a back and forth and down and around and kind of twisty. It takes you probably 10 minutes of walking, at which point, absent a survival roll, I don't think y'all are quite sure exactly where you are in the facility. But you do see that there is a sign on a placard on the wall that says hatchery, and you're able to follow a few additional signs. You come to a pneumatic door. It does remind you somewhat, Zam, of vault technology, but it is like there's none of the ubiquitous vault tech signs, and the general aesthetic is a little bit more minimalist, less kind of industrial in flavor. So clearly it was built by a different company. But after a few moments, the doors open into a little lobby.
I'm going to stroll into the lobby.
Cool. Well, the lobby is kind of like an extended balcony. It bows out. It is glassed in, and you can kind of just from where you are see that down below you, maybe 10, 15 feet, are a series of piles of brush and sand and soil and stuff like that. There's a very kind of orangey red light kind of coming from that area. And even though it's glassed in, you can just kind of against your skin, for those of you who have skin, you can feel like heat radiating. Not extremely strong, but it's noticeable. There are some comfortable couches.
Anything to eat or drink?
There probably is like a water fountain. Or actually
That's where Royce would
there's
go.
probably some sort of like metal cylinder with a little spigot that says water on it and some those little conical paper cups.
Dan's going to go sit down on the couch and just throw his feet up on like the coffee table or something.
Yeah, it's super comfortable. You hear an attenuated voice, kind of gravelly voice, over some speakers that are artfully recessed into the ceiling. Be with you in a minute. Make yourselves at home.
All right. I mean, the couches are pretty comfy, guys. Take a seat. Said make yourself at home. So just in my mind, I see Stan just sitting on a couch with dirty boots, and has it on the nice, clean coffee table, and there's dirt all over the place. He's knocking magazines off. Just
You're just making a real mess.
yeah.
It's fine.
Zam will sit down and drink a purified water.
It's very good. It doesn't taste recycled.
No, I know it doesn't.
Like, you probably actually prefer the flavor of vault water because you're familiar with it. This is almost without flavor.
Oh, I have my own water.
Oh, you're drinking your own water. So okay, you got your own purified water. So it has that weird plasticky flavor that you prefer.
Yep.
Royce is over at the water cooler like, it's in my mouth, but I don't taste anything. Like, is this even real? Like, just blown away.
I don't taste lead. I don't taste sulfur. I don't taste cesium. Jeez.
Like, how do I know I'm drinking anything?
From a hallway, you hear another pneumatic sound, and then loud kind of clacking and thudding making its way ponderously in your direction. There's the occasional, like, almost like a little bit of a squeal. It's kind of like, basketball shoes on a basketball court. You get that little bit of a squeal, but this is a little bit more prolonged. It's a little bit like nails on chalkboard. It kind of, not a great sound, echoes kind of up this hallway. Kind of looking around, you see, didn't really notice it at first because no one investigated, but there are some periodic sort of gouges in the pristine metallic floor.
Interesting. I think when Stan hears it, I think he would kind of stand to attention and just kind of look in that direction and just kind of wait to make sure nothing big and scary pops out. So he's kind of at the ready, like tense.
Well, something big and scary pops out. It is, it's kind of hunched over because it has to fit in the hallway. And also just in this room, but probably about 10 feet tall, dark, blackish green scales, big curling horns, a maw full of jagged, razor sharp teeth, and a lab coat.
So it's a death claw and a lab coat.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Deathclaw.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm Dr. Saurus. I saw you guys on my monitor. It kind of looked like you were different from most of the people who want to come and fiddle around here at the zoo. And if I'm not mistaken, one of you is from a vault nearby.
Zam's just going to point at Royce.
You don't look like a
Royce
vault dweller.
chuckle.
He'll pull out a little device. And your rad count suggests that you aren't a vault dweller.
No, it's that guy.
Ah, that makes sense. Well, I figured, Vault Tech was known to, understand science and engineering. And if you were a vault dweller, I think most of the vault dwellers had like specialized skills and stuff. So I thought, maybe you might want to come and check out this facility and, being used to living underground and, having those valuable skills and maybe be willing to help me out in exchange for the ability to live in a place where things aren't quite so horrible as they are on the surface, at least for now.
That's not bad. What do you need help with?
Well, a lot of things. There's a fair amount of automation in this facility, but unfortunately the last of the scientists died before they could teach me everything. So I was hoping, I always keep an eye out for people who might understand pre-war engineering and stuff like that. I've got a pretty good head for the biomechanic manipulation and genetic resequencing side of the house, if you will. But when it comes to things like water filtration systems and things like that, electrical engineering, I'm journeyman at best.
Zam's just going to slowly look over at Royce, who couldn't taste water earlier, and then back to the doctor.
Oh, so there's lots of stuff to help with. Right now, everything seems to be mostly okay. Pinky is missing, though. So there's that.
Who is Pinky?
Oh, Pinky's one of our residents. I don't know how she gets out of her cage with those little arms, but she does.
What kind of resident is Pinky?
Well, I think she's experimental. Because I've looked through the databases and I haven't found something exactly like her.
Great. What is her base animal percentage?
I'm not sure I understand that question. Drool slowly sliding down its jaw.
How big is Pinky?
She's about as big as you guys.
Oh.
Or at least she was last time I saw her. She's growing pretty fast. That's part of the genetic engineering protocol.
Okay. If you had to take a best guess of what Pinky was, I know that you don't have anything in the database of what it is.
Well,
she's
she's
little arms.
Yeah, well, she's definitely some kind of raptor.
Okay. Well, so she might be on the surface, because we did get attacked by raptors up on the top side, unless there's other things that have escaped from your.
Oh, those are just the little guys. Nah. We just let those out to keep the area clear. They don't cause any problems. They don't go too far from the zoo.
Problems. Right.
Yeah,
right.
I think Pinky
Yeah.
might be trying to honestly, she might be trying to get to where some of the smaller herbivores are kept.
Okay. Well, I do have a question.
Sure.
And that question is, do you happen to have like a small bird of some sort?
Bird? No.
Maybe one that's ready to be hatched that's going to be roughly small?
Well, most of the stuff that hatches is roughly small. Why? Do you need one?
Yeah, this guy wants a bird.
Oh, so like if I give you, well, first of all, there are birds outside, dude.
That's what we said. He wanted to come to the zoo.
A man
So I
of
thought
good
it was a
taste. I
normal zoo.
appreciate that. I could probably whip you up an Archaeopteryx. I have to dig around the database and find the exact sequence. I'm sure we might not have a complete one. We can always splice some stuff together and get something that's a fair approximation. Probably pretty colorful. small to start with. They didn't. I don't think that. Now, do you want one that's going to get real, real big? That'll take me longer, but I can do it.
Maybe.
Well, how about you guys? How about you guys try to go find Pinky?
Right.
And I'll head on over to the lab and see what I can whip up for you.
Okay.
What do we do with Pink if we find her?
Well, you lure her back to her cage.
Where's her cage?
Oh, I can give you a schematic.
Oh, good.
So the thing is the only thing that we really have might harm / kill Pinky. Do you have anything that's a little less lethal that maybe we could use? If we get into like a sticky situation?
No. Just don't annoy her. Ugh, she's a teddy bear. Just
Maybe to you.
Just don't make any
Said
sudden
Laura,
movements.
we'll just use them as bait.
Just don't make any sudden movements. And whatever you do, don't run. It triggers her predatory instinct, you know.
Yeah, it's like a Yaguai.
Kind of. But
then they
nowhere
just eat
near
ya,
as disgusting.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Are
don't
you
think
making up words again?
I don't think she'd eat you. I mean, she might. We'll see. But anyway, like I said, she's just an experiment. She's definitely not part of the protocol to cleanse the surface of unwanted elements.
Okay.
I mean, not you guys. Mostly it's the raiders, the super mutants, a fair amount of the predatory specimens have been bred specifically to prefer super mutant flesh.
Okay. Well, so the deal is you make him a bird, we put Pinky back in her cage.
Other way around. Y'all help with Pinky while I figure out the whole situation with a bird for what's your name again?
Zam.
All right, we get a bird for Zam. And then maybe y'all can help me just keep an eye on things here, maybe fix some of the stuff that I'm less familiar with, and we can get this program back on track. And don't feel like I'm asking you that, you know, this is a little bit weird, obviously, coming from me. I'm not asking you guys to be my roommates forever. We're real close to being able to finish phase 3. I just want to make sure that I've got the right resources to make sure everything goes smoothly. And then after that, you're free. Well, I would probably wait a few months, but after that, you're free to go wherever you want.
Phase 3 is letting these things out on the surface.
Yeah. See, you're already picking up on it.
I don't think that's a good idea, but we're just gonna move along here. So if you let
It
those
can't
things
worse what's out there.
Exactly. In
That's
fact, it's a solution to the problem. At least that's what the scientists believe. There used to be a whole bunch of them, from what I read. But by the time they made me, there were really only a couple dozen left. So they did what they could to, you know, train me up and surgically and cybernetically enhance my brain and my manual dexterity and, you know, the usual stuff, so that I could carry on their mission. Now, you might think, why would someone like me be interested in, you know, getting rid of others like me? It's like, well, I've never met someone like me. And from what I understand and what I've seen on the videos, we're not quite the same. Like,
You're definitely more well-mannered.
well, like, I don't think there's a single one of them running around in the wasteland that is a big fan of, like, classic Johnny Cash.
Who?
Classic Johnny Cash. See, this is why we need this solution, so we can make Megasota great again.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. All right, guys. I think we should probably go try to figure out what's up with Pinky here. And
Yep.
then I guess we'll help with phase 3. Team? Boats?
Sure.
Yeah. Let's find this Pinky.
Awesome. Well,
Right.
stop off on the meat room on your way out. Grab a big chunk of something juicy, because she'll be wanting that.
Okay.
Oh, and over there, just put your little soft monkey hand in that fingerprint thing. That thing that looks like your little puny hands. It'll dispense a little screen for you so that you can navigate your way around.
Oh. Okay.
I keep forgetting you people don't have tails. I'm sorry if I'm looking at your butt.
I guess Stan's gonna walk over and put his hand against the sensor.
Yep. And a little slot will open, and there's a little kind of retro futuristic, inch thick kind of iPad analog. Has a green scale kind of schematic.
I'm gonna grab it and just literally hand it to Zam. I don't know how to read.
Right. Narrator, is there a way I can put this map on my Pip-Boy?
Yeah, probably. I think, well, it's certainly an intelligence check. I think intelligence science. I think probably difficulty 2. You can give me an action point to buy a third die if you'd like. Because y'all haven't really succeeded at many rolls.
Nope.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Let me make a note. 1 action point for Pinky. Got it.
I gotta find my other die. Nope, that one has 30 sides. I have a lot of dice. Oh, I got a 1.
Which is a critical success.
Yes.
So that's 2. That gets you what you need. Did you roll both dice?
Yes.
Okay. So no, you didn't get an extra one.
9.
Okay, cool. What is your intelligence science add up to? Isn't it high?
Intelligence is 9, science is 3.
Yeah, so that's another
Oh,
success.
the success.
Oh, yeah.
So intelligence is 9 plus science of 3, so that's your 12, and anything under 12 is a success.
Yep.
1 is always a crit. If it's a tag skill, then it's the rank in the skill becomes. So if you have a skill of 3 and it's a tag skill and you hit 3 or below, that's also a critical, which counts for 2. So that means you got 3 successes on difficulty 2, which means now there's an action point floating around.
It is a tag skill.
So next time you don't have to give me an action point to buy an extra die, or whoever needs to. Yeah, easy enough. You try to like jam it into the little socket, it doesn't work, but there's a little side door on the Pip-Boy that has little adapters.
Yep.
You find one that fits, plunk it in, and it downloads it.
Cool.
Oh, that's nifty.
And the tablet thing back to Stan.
Oh, I'll just break
Hand it
it.
to Royce.
I'll just break it.
Right.
Yeah.
Royce will pocket it.
Yeah. But good idea, just in case. Well, she is a little tricksy, and she might like try to split you guys up or something. So it's probably good that at least 2 people have a copy, so you don't get lost. Yeah, and apologies. I this is one of the things that I haven't retrofitted for, roar. I don't really need it. I have a direct feed into my cerebellum, so.
Makes sense.
But I keep all the human tools spick and span just in case, visitors, scientists. I've sent some notes to those academics, but I don't know. I don't know if they're just not interested, think they're too good. Maybe they think I'm a crank, though. It's entirely possible. Hi, I'm a sentient cybernetic deathclaw. I'm currently running a genetic de-extinction facility underneath the zoo. Would you guys like to come over for dinner? It does seem kind of strange.
That it does.
Not the strangest thing that I've heard.
Life's weird, isn't it?
But I could deliver that letter and add a little gravitas.
Oh, you know those folks?
Couple. I
Well,
mean, nobody high up, but...
Well, yeah. Although, yeah. We probably ought to talk about that.
All right, to Hanky.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've got a Diplodocus that's about to hatch any second. Those things are so cute when they're little. Yeah, just you see those kind of orangey squares every so often in the hallway?
Mm-hmm.
The ones with the big switch on them? Yeah, just that's the intercom. If anything goes weird, just let me know.
Okay.
And don't forget, meat room. Second door on the left.
Going right out of this room or left out of this room?
Well, if you go that way,
Okay.
see that, not this door right here, but that door right there. That's the second door on the left.
Gotcha. Awesome. Start heading to the meat room.
He just kind of gives a big Deathclaw side eye to Stan, and then rubs his claws back together, or back and forth together, and then scrapes and clomps his way back down to go watch a birthing. So what happens?
Now I can say I've met a Deathclaw and lived to tell the tale.
True one, Roy. True one.
All right, to the meat room.
Yeah.
Yes. There's
We love the meat room.
a variety of chunks of stuff. I will say, as soon as you open the meat room, like, there's an immediate just roiling, frigid fog that pours out. It's extremely cold in there.
All right. Go ahead and walk in and kind of grab a handful of racks of meat and throw one over or two over my shoulder and start loading some people up with meat.
Well, we don't want too much, because if we're trying to lure this thing and all of us are packing all the meat, we all have to be the bait.
True. So who do you think is going to move the fastest then? Or should we put it on the slowest person?
I think, Stan, I think you take a chunk and I take a chunk, or we give one to the robot, and then we'll be able to at least coordinate where we want this pinky to go.
Okay. Do that. Yeah, I'll grab a slab of meat and plunk it over my shoulder and... All right, let's go find this pinky thing. So... I guess we don't really know exactly where the last she's been seen, so I mean, she said, or the Death Claw said something about the herbivores. So maybe we want to check over by the herbivores, see if we can't see Pinky over there.
Yeah,
That makes-
either Voice or Zam can query the schematics, and you can find a small herbivore enclosure. It's probably about a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, it's not too far.
So you climb some stairs, head kind of into the facility away from this large, kind of ornamental atrium. You you see kind of a very large, like almost 2-story set of doors that don't immediately respond when you approach. But there's some sort of ping or handshake happening between the tablet and also your Pip-Boy Zam. So it takes a moment for some sort of authorization signal to be sent, and then they slowly open. These are very thick, heavy doors. There's a kind of rounded tunnel that then opens out into what looks to be almost like if the part of the facility that you were just in were like a pod, this would be like a second or another pod. And you did hear the robot talk about the aquatic facility. So it just like you're just kind of skimming back and forth the schematic. It looks like it's actually like a ring of interconnected pods, each one for relatively easily isolated and for designed for different types of specimens. Kind of arranged in a hub and spoke. There's the kind of central facility, which you can tell exists, but any information about that, including the interior schematics, is not in your data.
All right, I guess we head into the big giant door, I guess.
Sure.
Let's go first.
Royce will go in and just start shouting, Pinky! Pinky! Come here, Pinky!
Okay. I mean, in theory, could work. Give me a charisma speech test. I think it's probably like difficulty 4.
Buy a die.
Yeah.
All right, so that was a 19 and a 9 and a 2. And since I bought a die, I get to re-roll any of the dice. So I'm going to re-roll the 19.
Good choice.
So far I'm at a 2 and a 9 and a 4. And if it is, you said
Let's give it a try.
speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got 1 crit with the 2, a success with the 4, charisma, speech. So those are 4 successes.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
Makes up for failing at perception, I guess.
so you're like,
It feels
oh
like
God,
this
we're
is
gonna have
be a
to
problem.
like, how do I think like a dinosaur? This place is huge. She could be anywhere. You're like, I'm just gonna call her like a dog, and you do, and you hear kind of a hooty honking noise, kind of echoing through the corridors. You're gonna keep it up.
I'd say.
Are you gonna
well, if
gonna
I
try
got
to
her
draw her to
attention-
you, or are you gonna try to go in the direction of the noise?
No. If she's coming to us, I think we start the drop some meat and move back.
That's good. I like that.
Cool. So you're gonna drop a kind of a line of. Are you keeping it
throw
even?
some meat,
Yeah.
throw some meat at the door, and then back up a little bit, throw some more meat, and then all right, let's see what's coming.
Yeah. and you're keeping up the calling.
Yeah,
Just every
down
once
the
in a while.
hallway.
Yeah, every time, because it'll get quiet and then you'll call and you'll hear it, and it almost feels like it's coming from a different location, but it's it's echoing through the corridors in a way that it's like, wait a second. If you had one of those little things, it's like they're all around us. It's like sometimes it echoes and it feels like it's coming from behind you. It's a little unnerving. But then
Peak horror numbers.
you call, and then this head kind of pokes around one of the little side corridors, probably a good 150 feet from you. By little head, I mean, yard from bottom to top. That's not counting the pink frill of feathers. And then this very large, luckily somewhat narrow creature kind of lurches into view and kind of checks you out this way and checks you out this way, and then just starts running on these powerful legs towards you. For any of the paleontologists watching, which I know is no one, this is roughly a juvenile Dakota raptor. Real big. Not as big as a Utah raptor, but pretty darn big.
As this is going on, did we ever find out where Pinky's cage is?
Did anyone look?
No.
There are, I think as you're like, oh crap, and you're scanning through your Pip-Boy, it's the other way.
That's the way towards.
Yeah, you have to squeeze by Pinky. But you can give me a perception test. Or, no, I think just intelligence science makes sense to me. Zam.
Oh, fine.
Don't look at me.
Difficulty 2. I'm just increasing the difficulty because you're under a little bit of a time crunch.
Yeah, and you find it fun.
As Pinky hits the first chunk of meat and just, grabs it and kind of plays with it a little bit and then tosses it up in the air and then gulp, swallows it.
So those are both fails.
Wow. But you're good at intelligent science, right?
Out with dinosaurs, apparently.
Would you like to spend one of the many boons that we have?
Sure, why not?
Well, and I got what, 4 successes, and it was difficulty 2, so we had 2 extra points.
Right.
It was a difficulty 4.
It was difficulty 4.
Oh, is it? Okay, so never
Yeah.
mind. I just mad it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So we didn't have anything extra. My mistake.
So we've got 6 major boons. Would you like to spend one to reroll?
Yep.
Okay, it's a good idea.
Yeah, that's worse.
All right. So Zam says, uh-oh. Her cage is on the other side. It's actually in the pod that's one further along in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to do? You have very effectively lured her to you. What are you going to do? She kind of dances back and forth and then runs forward, kind of skidding a little bit, and jumps on the second piece of meat. Rips it in half.
If we need to go the other way, I think Stan is going to just book it to the other side and just sprint as hard as he can to see if we can't get her to go the other direction. And he has some meat on him, so he's able to allow her to stop. And
so you're going to run.
But he said,
Yes.
"Don't run," is what Bryce will say as
He said,
Stan runs.
the one
past
thing
him.
he said was, "Don't run."
One of the things he said.
Oh, it was nice knowing you, Stan.
yeah,
You're going to live 280 years.
Royce, would you give
maybe
me an
his
intelligence
voice
check, Royce? Difficulty,
Sure.
it's 1, but make it 2.
2 fails for base
Oh, man.
intelligence.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Royce
Stan.
isn't the brightest. He's just like,
Yeah,
what are you
yeah,
doing?
it's true.
So neither was Stan. He heard the don't run, but he was like, "Oh, we're
Yeah.
in a problem. I need to act fast. I'm going to run to the other side."
Stan heard him but didn't listen.
Correct. 100%.
He
Yeah,
just heard the word run, and he's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Exactly.
I heard
doesn't
someone say
understand the
run,
word
and it was
don't.
don't run. It's fine.
Do not run.
Okay, so Stan, would you prefer athletics? I could see athletics.
Yes.
I could also see sneak, kind of.
Well, let's do athletics.
It's a
since
question
I'm
of
not
whether
really
you're trying to
technically
dart by in a way that doesn't attract attention, or whether you're just trying to like sprint as fast as you possibly can past this massive predator.
Let's see here.
This super speed demon.
Yeah, right. All right. So yeah, I think we're just gonna go with athletics and just sprint past her as fast as possible.
Okay. Let's see. Narrow corridor, large creature. I think it's probably to be able to effectively get past her. It's probably difficulty 5,
7.
but she's distracted because of the meat. So I'll say it's difficulty 4.
And we don't have any skill points or momentum.
Yeah, no action points. You do have luck points that you can spend on things like rerolls, though.
So I don't know what my luck points are. Since I lost all of my character sheets and everything.
Yeah, they're. We'll just say it's the number of your luck attribute, your luck special. That's where it starts.
So I'll use a luck point. And then can I also give you a skill point to buy an extra dice?
Luck points are usually after, like if you need to reroll a die.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
So
you
then-
can give me 1 action point to buy 1 die. You can give me 3 action points to buy 2 die, or you can give me 5 action points to buy 3 die. Just be aware that
Yes.
she's then going to spend all those action points.
I'm just going to give you 1 and
Okay.
just buy 1 extra dice.
Okay.
All right.
Would I attempt to assist by like trying to get her attention?
She's already as distracted as she's going to be, and you have her
Okay.
attention for now.
Got
She's Stan
Yeah.
is about to have her attention, but right now she's real focused on you because you've been calling her and throwing treats.
Yep. No, Pinky.
Why
Watch
am I
me.
not the
Watch
one
me,
doing
Pinky.
this?
Watch me.
I don't know, Mortimer.
I'm just like, okay, y'all can, die as long as Zam's okay. I don't care.
Right.
I just stay quietly in the background with like, let these idiots kill themselves, and then me and Zam can go by safely.
Yeah, 2 of those floating arms just kind of rotate up in a shrug emoji.
All right. So athletics is a 6. So, and I failed on all 3 of them.
Cool.
Could I use a major boon and reroll all of them?
Sure, why not? That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
You guys saved him up. And it's not like this is definitely the big boss situation. You don't need them for later. Don't worry.
All right. That is much better. So that is 2 crits. Yeah, so 4 successes. I got a 3, a 1, and a 13.
Cool.
So, and I have a tag in athletics.
Oh, excellent. All right. So you just scrape by. I think her head turns just reflexively to snatch at you, but you are able to kind of spin right out of the way as you feel this kind of hot breath wash over you, very meaty breath wash over you. And now it's a race. So I think now that she's spun around, she lifts up her head and honks this call and is going to take off running after you. What is everyone else doing?
Trying
I'm
to
watching
run
the
after, I guess.
Idiosorcus.
Cool. So,
I'm gonna walk carefully behind everyone.
yeah, I
I don't
think,
wanna upset other things.
I mean, this is really kind of what survival is for, because it's endurance based, and it's not just about like bursts of speed, but like, I think to me, trying to outrun a Dakota Raptor is probably a survival thing in more ways than one.
Okay.
Cool. I think she's going to spend
survival.
I think she's going to spend a fair number of action points.
Okay. That is 2 successes on my side.
So she has 4 and a complication. So do you have physical armor? Physical DR?
Yes.
Okay. How much?
Yes, I do have some. I have 1 on all of my
Okay.
all my body parts.
Yeah. Oh, crap. Oh, actually, that's good. You take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And are restrained.
Okay.
The complication was that she does damage. She bites you a little bit harder than she intended to. But you're getting away, and you've got a really good head of speed up, and then you think to look back over your shoulder, and this thing is built to run. And it's not even close. She just accelerates to like 35 miles an hour in a straight line in a few strides, and then just snatches you around the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think out of excitement squeezes a little bit too hard, and you hear a little pop in your rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
As she kind of does a little bit of a shake as ghoul arms and legs go flailing, and then whips around and kind of gets those eyes on Royce again, and then just starts trotting up with Stan. Occasionally, as he's wiggling, just kind of like opening, like tossing him up in the air, grabbing him again to get a better grip. There's like a chortling kind of fluty noise coming out of her throat. She kind of looks down at the 3rd piece of meat, and you kind of see her thinking, like she's thinking, like, can I pick up both? Can I pick up both? And then she like feels Stan struggling and shakes again, and then just is going to trot up to where she's like now towering over Royce, Sam, and Mortimer.
Royce is gonna throw his last piece of meat he has, try and get past her, just to get her to, his thought, drop Stan and go after the flying meat.
All right. I think that's going to be Charisma Speech again.
Sam's gonna wave.
7 and 9, so 2 successes.
Oh, yeah, I didn't give it difficulty, but you know what? I think it takes a little bit. Because she really, like, having something struggling in her mouth is probably, like, fun for her. So it's hard to get her to give it up, but eventually you kind of work your way around the side and kind of lure her back, and then can eventually kind of entice her, and she will just kind of toss Stan, slam him up against a wall, slides down. You are covered in revolting, very ropey dino phlegm, Stan.
Nice.
And then she'll surprisingly gently grab that meat out of your hand, Royce, and make that same kind of chortling flute noise.
And then we'll slowly walk back towards the herbivore pen, or wherever the, like, if there's a way around the outside of the herbivore dome, we'll go that way. Otherwise, we'll just go
it's similar.
through.
It's not quite as large. Like, I think if you zoom all the way out on the schematic, you can see there's this one, like, very large sort of oval pod, and then a series of smaller spherical pods with that kind of central facility in the middle. So it's nowhere near as large or tall, because it doesn't connect up to the surface. That central pod that you entered in is obviously some sort of, like, central office, etc., but not the secure area where probably a lot of the secret stuff happens. I think how is everyone helping to do this? I think I kind of want to get a sense of, because I think she would just get bored unless everyone's doing something.
Well, so we're trying to get her into her enclosure.
Yeah, you just kind of got to lead her to the perimeter of the small herbivore enclosure, kind of around to the next kind of part of the wheel, and then into the next thing. And it's pretty close. But it's going to take you 10 minutes. So you've got to keep her attention. So I'm just curious what everyone's doing to keep her attention.
So is her enclosure's behind us now? We're walking backwards, right? Because that was the point of me running, was
Yeah,
to get to the
you
other
got
side.
ahead of, you got behind her effectively until she chased you, and then Rith just kind of basically moved everyone around and is now helping to lead her toward her chamber.
Do we have any more meat?
I mean, I had meat on me. So yeah, we have plenty of meat. And that's not so much the issue. It's keeping her attention that, hey, this is worth following, instead of just being, hey, I'm being led by some meat back to the thing that I escaped because I don't want to be there situation.
Yeah.
So maybe Zam and Mortimer, if you guys want to get to her enclosure and then get the door open, so that way when me and Royce get to it, we're able to just walk straight in.
Yeah, y'all
Okay.
could run.
Maybe.
Y'all could run to get there faster.
I mean,
Yeah,
Mortimer
we're good,
can't
yeah.
run, so,
But
I mean, what if we strapped a piece of meat to Mortimer and he just flies past her?
that's possible.
Can you outfly her, Mortimer? I don't know how fast you can go.
You know what our speed is?
I just realized I was muted. Well, I had other plans, but if you would allow me to talk about them. I have been recording all of the sounds she has made since we came in contact with her. And my plan is actually to go where we're supposed to go and start playing those sounds, and maybe she will be intrigued because she's never really heard them before. So maybe she'll follow me and try to go towards that instead of this meat death trap that we're playing with y'all. Because I prefer Zam not die. And to keep Zam alive, I think I need to also keep both of you alive. So this might be a more intelligent decision.
All right, robot
You want a piece of meat
has a
too?
point.
I'm good on the meat. I'm a robot. We don't need meat.
No, for the pinky.
I'll be the brain here.
Finally, one of them showed up.
All right. So as Mortimer calculates the appropriate sequence of calls to make, is your plan to, because your repulsors will take you fairly quickly, and she doesn't seem to react to you the way that she does to the organics, because you obviously aren't prey. So is your plan, so your contribution to herding this Dakota raptor is to get to the destination and create realistic versions of her own calls to attract her. So that's what you're doing.
Correct.
What is Zam going to do? If
That's
it's
a good
helpful,
question.
you're having this conversation as you're continuing to lead her. You've now kind of cut around the kind of circular walkway that looks down into the small herbivore enclosure. And indeed, you can see some small herbivores like rabdodons. And you can also see, as much as she's watching you guys, she'll occasionally kind of put the side of her face against the glass and kind of stare down there and make a little bit of a snuffling, whining noise. Maybe use one of her little small arms to kind of claw at the glass. So, sorry, Zam. How are you going to help?
Yeah. Good question. Well, don't know.
I think Stan will probably be with Royce and just kind of, I don't want to say exactly waving his arms, but trying to keep her attention on us. Obviously, he has learned his lesson about running, so he's not going to do that again. But he may like just kind of wave his hands around to try to like create some motion and maybe wave some meat around, just to keep her attention on us and not the herbivores in the tank.
Okay, so what skill do you think that is? If you're just like literally just trying to jump around and make a...
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only one that really makes sense would be
Beach
athletics. Yeah. Yeah, I could go with charisma. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
sure.
very strong at it, but charisma.
Or you could like literally, it's like, I'm going to do back handsprings and do agility. I mean, it's just kind of want to see how everyone contributes.
I mean, like I said, I'm just kind of waving my arms around, just kind of moving in general, just to try to pique her interest. So if you think athletics would be good,
yeah,
do that.
Well, it's kind of up to you. I would say just if you're not quite sure narratively how, pick an action that you would like to take and roll it up.
Okay, it would definitely be athletics then. That is 2 successes.
Yeah. I think that's more than sufficient. I'm going to count total successes, but I think your part of it is is successful enough. You're able to kind of keep an eye on her when she starts to get too distracted. You'll just kind of dance around, a little bit of fast motion. But she does kind of look at you like a toy that she's already played with a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What about if I cut off some of the meat from Stan's big chunk and then drop some on the floor while we're backing up?
Sure. What skill combination do you think that would be? I'm offering you a chance to play into your strengths. Like, I in my studies I learned about, it wasn't dinosaurs, but it was large wasteland predators, and I know that they operate in a certain way, so I'm going to leverage that knowledge to do a thing. Or I'm just going to get behind her and kick her butt.
Intelligence, sneak.
Oh, almost like you're trying to like not be noticed doing it. Like maybe you're trying to waft the scent of meat toward her because you have studied and learned that, a lot of senators, a lot of predators hunt by scent, not just sight. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And Rith, I assume you're keeping up the whole charisma situation.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Just a big feathery dog.
I got 2 ones.
Ooh, so 4 successes. Awesome. Science comes in for the win. Royce, roll it up.
I got 1 success.
Cool. And Mortimer. I think it's intelligence science, probably, unless you want to pitch some other combination.
If you're good. That works for me. 2 crit successes.
2 crits? So 4 more?
Mm-hmm. I got 2 and a 3, so yeah.
So 11 in total.
Holy heck.
Successes.
Cool. Well, I was going to say, this is hard. This is an abstraction of a whole bunch of, small challenges, etc. I was going to say the difficulty is probably like 6 or something, but I'll just count successes. But you guys blew through that. So that means 5 action points. But Major Bane, but you don't actually wind up with her back in her compartment. You are there, Mortimer, and actually everyone's kind of following along as she starts hearing that, and then it distracts her, and she's kind of trotting. She'll occasionally look back over her shoulder at you to make sure you're keeping up. It's like a jog to get back. Mortimer, you can see this is a little comfortable spot. It's got all kinds of big, like stuffed toys. They're probably made out of some sort of, highly durable material. And even then, many of them have been ripped to shreds. But this is much more like a puppy kennel than you would expect a holding pen for a dangerous predator. But just as you are about to ease her into her enclosure, alarms go off. Spinning lights. Whoop, 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 whoop. You hear a tinny voice over the intercom. Did you guys tell a bunch of people where you were going, or did you invite friends over, or?
Zam's gonna touch the intercom. No, we don't have any friends.
Okay, well, it's only that there's some people in power armor, and it looks like they're trying to break in.
Zam is going to look at Stan and Royce. What is power armor?
I think you've probably seen
Middle
war.
on the outside, people
Yeah.
in the middle.
I was going to say, Power Armor was pre-war, so if you read pre-war books,
Yeah.
they used it in the pre-war wars, so...
That wasn't
should
part of
prep.
my expertise.
That's true. They
So
might
I
have.
skipped those
That's fair.
chapters.
Yeah, they
Mostly
they
repairs
okay.
and
they definitely, the clones decided to withhold certain education from the next generation of clones.
jerks.
More or less take me or Royce and put us in a giant suit that looks like Mortimer that can knock through some of these doors in one punch.
Sam's gonna look at Stan and then Mortimer and then Stan and then Mortimer and Stan and then Mortimer. All right.
So I mean, we didn't exactly tell anybody about this down here because we didn't know about it. But we may have said that we were heading to the zoo, and they do know that we have a Vault Dweller with us.
How about you guys meet me at the observation deck real quick? It's near where you came in.
Well, we almost got Pinky in her enclosure. Can we finish that first?
I think maybe this is more important.
Make up your mind.
Sam's gonna look at Stan and then look at Pinky.
Well, I think Pinky has heard the alarms and is like, it literally has taken off.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like a horse shying at the last minute as you're trying to get it into the stable.
Maybe it's better that she's free because if they're not our friends, I have no problems with her eating them.
Yeah.
Hang out of that meat. Throw the meat at him.
Let's keep her enclosure open, and I'm just gonna go and just set the rest of the meat in the enclosure. And she'll find her way back.
Sure.
Yeah, when she gets
go to
tuckered
the-
out.
Yeah. Let's head back to the Death Claw guy.
Cool. So, running montage. You follow the schematics on the
We don't
tablet.
run.
and
We
your
skip.
Pip Boy. Okay, that works too. And you power walk just in case. So there is. It's on. It's a couple floors up from where you were before, but there's another one of these kind of like semicircular glass roof and also glass floor. So you really have a panoramic view of the central atrium. Dr. Saurus is standing kind of pensively, sort of scratching his leathery scales with one of his, wicked 4-inch stiletto claws, almost striking up sparks. They went in here real bad. Oh, hey, guys. Yeah. Seems like they got some tech with them, too. Usually, like the laser turrets and stuff take care of things, but they seem to have been able to shut those down. And they're right about to be able to access the elevator, I'm afraid.
I mean, are you able to shut the elevator down?
Well, I'm trying, but I'm not the fastest typist. And again, I haven't retrofit everything for. So I could use some help, or.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've got probably a good 5 minutes. I hope. I mean, this place is pretty secure. So we should have a plan, right? We could even
come up with a plan, and I'll turn that off.
Well, we could try to hold him off. We could try lock him out of the system. Although, and he'll point at a little CRT monitor, like one of the big domed black and white ones. It does look like they have a laser cutter with them. Man, they came prepared. Are you sure you didn't tell them? Well, I don't know. How could you? Huh?
Yeah, we didn't know any of this was down here.
Yeah.
I mean, Royce will try and look to see if he knows what group it is. Like, is it Brotherhood? Do they have insignia that we might know who it is?
Yeah. That would be.
Enclave.
What do we think that is going to be? It's certainly intelligence to recognize it.
Maybe intelligence survival.
I think science is meant to encompass like history, memory.
Well, it's
Alternatively,
worth a shot.
it could almost be like a retroactive charisma speech to kind of see if you have socially interacted with this group before. That makes sense to me.
I'll go with that one, and if it's a failure, like Royce doesn't know, but
Yeah.
he's a good talker.
I think it's difficulty 2.
Okay, I got a 2 and a 19. That's a crit success.
Cool.
Nice.
Which gets you your 2 successes. That's what you needed. They are not technically Brotherhood of Steel. Brotherhood of Steel is the relationship between the Megasota Authority and Brotherhood of Steel is complicated. Because obviously there's some advanced science going on here, the kind of thing that the Brotherhood would want to shut down. So there's a little bit of a détente. But there is call it a splinter order that serves as, and it's unclear whether these are people who failed out, left, got drummed out of the Brotherhood, or kind of like homegrown militia guys who are cosplaying. It's kind of hard to tell, but they are known to be backed by some sort of wealthy individual organization. Whenever you've encountered representatives, they've always been extremely well equipped. So it's a real threat. But what I say about them is that they almost exclusively work for hire. And they work for hire almost exclusively for wealthy and influential individuals or organizations. Academics don't truck with them. That I would say too.
Well-equipped bounty hunters.
Yeah. They're the Iron Fist.
So yeah, Royce will share that we got the Iron Fist bounty hunters after us.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Nope.
No.
Well, so we could hope they go away.
They're not going away, and either they get what they want or they've got to be heartily bribed away.
Well, I don't have much to give them.
I'm going to turn off the elevator.
It's already unpowered. That's the problem. Is that they're... you could try to throw up a security subroutine on it.
Yeah, I suppose.
Cool. That's going to be intelligent science. It's going to be opposed by their hacker.
Okay. I have the hacker trait.
Ooh, good.
So it decreases by 1 to a minimum of 0.
Cool. So that'll just, yeah. What'd you get?
Got a 6 and a 10. So what was that? Intelligence?
Science.
Science. So 1 success.
So I rolled 3. That sets the difficulty at 3, but you reduce it by 1, which difficulty is 2, but that failed. So I'm going to say it's like slow, like you're effective at rolling out a security subroutine, but it's based on like old kind of vault tech.
Yeah.
And there's maybe a little bit of a compatibility issue with this facility's systems, and also probably the hacker up above has had a chance to study vault tech software, so it's relatively quickly counteracted. Uh-oh, they're in the elevator. Oh, and they know that it has an independent power supply, so we can't even with the mains cut. Looks like they know how to activate that. Do you guys have? Well, can't have any mini nukes down here, although most of the specimens are genetically altered to resist radiation. Y'all don't happen to have like a minigun or anything on you, do you?
No. I have 2 guns.
Got a fancy robot with a flamethrower.
Yeah, Mortimer's got a flamethrower.
Well, I mean, I guess y'all could go out there and try to stall him. I feel bad, though. They're sure gonna kill you real quick.
I mean, you're pretty tough yourself. You're a Deathclaw. Why don't you come out there and help us?
Well, I mean, I'm a scientist.
What if we let Pinky and friends out?
You mean accelerate the program?
Or just, you've got things that'll eat us as easy as them fight each other.
So you
Well,
mean...
I mean, it'd be a test protocol at most.
Oh,
Because these things
Pretty
would be
much
up on the surface, so we need to test them.
like a pre-launch test.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this is like the real deal. This isn't just your standard roving band of bad people up
Raiders.
there. This is like
Yeah.
piece of resistance.
All right. I don't even think there needs to be a roll because this is kind of what he wants. I don't think he needs much convincing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we're gonna need someone. We're gonna need someone on the computers. We're gonna need someone as like traffic control, to funnel the specimens through the main corridors and make sure they don't get lost. We're gonna need someone operating defenses to slow down the invaders. Oh, and we're going to need someone to monitor the power system. I'm going to try to activate phase 3, but not have the main doors open. Because we're not quite ready yet. But that's going to take balancing some of the power. Got to keep siphoning power out of the main doors, because once we hit that button, what's supposed to happen is, well, a whole bunch of stuff, but the main thing is everyone gets out. So it's going to be a little bit. So who wants to do what?
I mean,
Dan's the better shot. I'll do crowd control, and then the other two can do the computery stuff.
Cool.
I mean, my argument is the power nuclear? Does it give off radiation? Because I mean, that's right up my alley.
Oh, you
Good
want to go?
point.
You want to
Wait,
go
Bruce.
into the power core? That's actually a good
Why
point.
not?
Yeah, it's actually a good point. I mean, it's a fusion reactor, so there's not quite as much much radiation as you would expect, but there is some radiation. So, all right, I can put you in one of the emergency shuttles. It's kind of like those pneumatic tubes that people used to use to send notes between office buildings. Only you cram people into it. So we can throw
Sounds
you
like
in one of
fun,
those, get
but
you
I
to the
don't know
power
what you're
core
talking
real
about.
quick. We can hook you up to the interior controls. Vault Dweller, robot, what you doing? How are you going to help? By which I mean, which one of you wants to be on defenses?
Mortimer.
Mortimer? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So, flurry of action. I mean, there are significant defenses, but there's a flurry of action. He runs over to a nearby port, kind of slams his big reptilian arm against it. A panel pops off, and there he is. It's like a little, like the thing that you used to put your checks in at the pneumatic lift at the bank, size for a person with little handles in it. He just kind of manhandles Stan in with those claws, kind of slams you in. Now hold on to the handles now. Kind of shuts it and slaps a button, and you immediately feel your stomach lurch into your throat as you first enter free fall and then accelerate. And then there's like a woo as you go horizontal and are shunted towards the center of this facility. Royce, he points you at a really complicated bank of levers and buttons and monitors. And he basically gives you control of all the sliding walkways and shutting doors and bulkheads and all that kind of stuff. Mortimer, he kind of pushes you over and probably pulls out a cord and plugs you into the station's, the facility's defenses. Well, I'm all flustered. What was the... Feels like I'm missing something. We got power. We got defense. We got control. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. His tongue kind of cuts over his sharp, jagged shark teeth.
Sam, what are you doing?
Yep. Something with computers.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay. I need you to monitor the internal systems. You're gonna activate phase 3, but I'm gonna need you to monitor the power, specifically to the egress mechanism. And I'm gonna need you to communicate with your friend down in the core to make sure you keep that balanced. All right. Well, here goes. He will go over to a large console, open up a big kind of jewel case under which there is a big red button marked phase 3. Everybody ready?
Yep.
And he'll slam it down. The character of the alarms changes immediately. There's like a ding, ding, ding. Phase 3 activated. Human personnel, please retreat to safe designated shelters. And like computer-wise, Zam, you're seeing on the monitor a whole bunch of systems activating. Royce, you're seeing these big pneumatic lifts start to power up. It looks like this facility is designed to effectively rise up out of the earth. So that's nice. All the kind of barriers between various different specimens that are compatible are going down. And there is a clear kind of pathway to basically funnel everyone here. So it's going to be dependent upon how good you are at that, how good Zam is at running the computer system, how good Stan is at following instructions on balancing the power, and how good Mortimer is at slowing down this breach team who's now minutes away from entering the atrium. So roll. I'm going to tell you it's a high difficulty.
Great.
But again, it's going to be a count of total number of successes.
So we do have 5 action points that we can use between the group.
I suggest everyone just use 4 of them and everyone buy 1 die is my recommendation. That's probably the most mathematically efficient.
Okay.
And then for skills, obviously it's intelligent science for the computers. Stan, I think you're more like yanking on levers and pushing, like you could sell me on intelligence, but I think it's probably more athletics.
I was thinking more of like endurance.
Or that too. I could get behind endurance.
I mean, just a flat endurance. I guess endurance survival.
Yeah.
Just because I'm in the core itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't see why not. And it's less about like I have to be super strong to lift this lever. It's more like not losing the pace of spinning this dial, flipping this switch, working these levers. Yeah, makes good sense to me. Royce, I think it's probably... I think it might be... It's probably either intelligence or agility based for you. Mortimer, I'm going to say it's going to use your small guns or energy weapons, whichever you would prefer. Because you're basically playing a little arcade game. as the elevator has stopped at an upper floor and they're now disgorged and they're making this way down there, you have access to all the various little hidden turrets, the laser trip wires, the slicer or dicer, the one that has the laser net that spins through a corridor and turns someone into chunks. You've got all that at your disposal, so you can choose which skill you want to use there. Zam, obviously, science intelligence. Roll them up. 3 die each.
Yeah.
I got 2 successes.
Cool.
I got 2 crits.
So total of 4 successes.
Dang.
Lovely.
I got 1 success.
Cool. It all comes down to
One
Mortimer.
crit and 1 success, so 2 successes.
So you said 1 crit and a success?
Yes,
So 3 successes.
3.
3.
So I think what happens is, Mortimer, you're actually able to take out a few of them, one of which is wearing a backpack and has a lot of wires and goggles on, clearly the hacker. She, it looks like, is actively working and has some sort of jury-rigged Pip-Boy and is using it to interface with the system. So you're having a little bit of a hard time, but you eventually catch her with a crowd suppression gas, probably intended to be used on dinosaurs. So it immediately takes her and a couple of her friends out. Some of the others just get ripped to shreds by miniguns or laser beams. But the folks coming in, the 4 that have the power armor, kind of unscathed. Royce, you're doing a good job. By the time they get down to like 2 floors above you, you have funneled and you're starting to feel it inside this observatory. Just the whole thing is shaking, partly because of the pneumatics, but also partly because there's just thousands of tons of dinosaur meat on the run, kind of crowding in this direction. You hear that kind of attenuated tinny screen through the monitor as a couple of these folks that had they had kind of split into 2 parties to try to find the way down. A couple of them run into some large dinos and start, what the, spraying them with weapon fire. Doesn't seem to do much but anger them. You can see a Triceratops just go full speed and pin a guy in power armor into a wall and just kind of start opening him up like a tin can, while the other one does that slow run over to the edge and kind of does a power armor leap down a couple of stories. The other group is still coming. You direct some of the smaller, quicker dinosaurs in that general direction. Stan, you're doing a good job kind of keeping everything on balance, although it's hard. You continually are having to bleed off power to this complex system that is meant to raise this facility to the surface and disgorge its contents of de-extincted dinosaurs. Everyone is very distracted, and there's a growing feeling of this is working. It's great. I'm not sure what we're doing, but it seems like it's working. But no one is watching Dr. Saurus. So the camera sees, but no one else does, as he actually quite dexterously with his long black claws keys in a sequence into a computer kind of while everyone else is looking at their station. And Stan, the facility has gone on automatic. Your access to the controls in the fusion core is now meaningless. So you all take a little ride as this facility lurches to the surface. Does anyone want to go out and try to engage in hand-to-hand or small gunfire against the remaining 3 people in power armor? Or are you going to wait for the dinosaurs to destroy them?
Wait for the dinosaurs. Of course, I don't know what's going on since I'm down in the power core. I don't really exactly have anything.
Yeah, I think you call up. You still have comms, so you can call up and you're communicating with Zam. Zam, it's clear that some failsafe has tripped.
Yeah, I'll just wait there.
Cool. You want to give me an intelligent science real quick?
Sure.
Difficulty 3. You have a spare action point if you want to buy a third die.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll buy a third die.
Cool.
It's 1 success.
Oh. Yeah, clearly something weird happened in the system that no one could have predicted. Some sort of failsafe was engaged, and there's really no way to stop this facility from rising. And so it does. We get an aerial shot of above of the whole Como area just kind of shaking. That building that you had originally seen kind of torquing back and forth, and all the remaining glass shattering as the entire building kind of implodes. There's a general like series of sinkholes that open, like the whole massive, probably more than a mile diameter area begins to kind of collapse, falling into the void left by this massive mechanism. And then these beautiful white kind of pods begin to emerge from the ground itself. Not quite sure, like maybe someone's monitoring this, but mostly you're monitoring kind of it's like a sports bar rooting for your team to come in with the final goal. As you know, some of the smaller dinosaurs are being killed, but there's hundreds where those came from. Eventually the extraction team runs out of ammo. They're trying to run away. They're getting jumped on by little velociraptors. They're getting dive bombed by Archaeopteryxes. Eventually, they're whittled down to 2, to 1, to none. The shaking stops. And you look across, kind of down the hallway that you had originally entered the facility, and you can see the entire end of that hallway just kind of crack at the top and bright light shine through, and then the whole wall just kind of lays down with a thud. And then the bravest of the de-extincted dinosaurs start to kind of sniff the air. Some of the small skittish ones run out. A few of the big plodding ones start to make their way. It's probably going to take a while for this facility to empty. But you know what? You thwarted the attempt to capture Zam. I think the mayor of Hinky Town is probably not going to be happy with that. And you may have made Megasota a more interesting place. So, is there a final montage of what happens?
I would probably say Stan would finally come upstairs to where everybody is, and just kind of go, I thought the plan was to not let these things out.
Yeah. Well, wall fell down, so not much I can do about that.
Did you at least get your bird?
Nope. Didn't get a bird.
Okay.
I can get that for you. I'm real sorry, guys. There must have been some sort of failsafe mechanism once Phase 3 was activated that the scientists didn't tell me about. I guess I should have studied harder. But thanks anyway. That went pretty well. Here, I'll be right back. And he will present you with a lovely kind of robin's egg blue, well, giant egg, kind of speckled with brown. She's going to hatch any day now. Now, keep her real warm, though. And for whatever you do, make sure you're the first living thing she sees. Kind of important.
Yep. Got it.
Oh, and let her sniff your friends too, while she's still real little, so she didn't want to eat them later.
I'll think about it.
All right. Wow. Looks like we got a lot to do. Hey, Royce, you said your name was? You serious about taking a note to the academics?
Yeah, I think they'll want to know anything they can
Yeah,
about
you know,
this.
I think you probably want to go and let them know. It's like, hey, it's not like some sort of evil genius bent on taking over the world by turning it into dino world or reverting to the Paleolithic, you know, nothing like that. This is an opportunity for scientific collaboration for the betterment of all, except probably for super mutants and raiders and, you know, other types. You might want to just go and see if you can get them on board.
I will do my best.
That'd be real helpful. Hey, that was fun, right?
It was something.
Well, go check it out, and then come back and I can tell you about Phase 4. And then
Phase 4.
Yeah, probably see a scene. So you know, the kind of artificial lighting giving way to the much brighter sunlight. Your 4 silhouettes as you step out back into the wasteland with pteranodons and various other dinosaurs now kind of just dispersing out to wherever they want to go. Dr. Saurus with one clawed hand over his head, kind of waving. Come back soon. And then I think we see that typical scene where, you know, it switches around and kind of takes your point of view as you look out across the now jumbled ruin of Como toward the city where the academics are. And then we probably see rising up out of the kind of twisted woods nearby, just like one big, long Bronto head. And then we probably fade to black. So thanks, guys, for releasing de-extincted dinosynths onto Megasota. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Hey, I know Rith has to go, so let's do a real fast say goodbye, and then we'll say toodaloo, and then come back and read out to someone. So, hey, let's start with you again, Rith.
All right, I'm Rith. You can find me pretty much here in various games every once in a while. Otherwise, trolling Juice and our other friends. Go to Stan.
I'm your only villain. You can find me here at C+ Content or over in our various friends like Juice and Meg and some other people. Yeah, it was super fun. Go in.
I am Govin. You also find me all over Twitch. But yeah, over to
And I'm the Backwin. I stream Monday through Friday usually with my co-host Assignment Ada. Play various games. Talk.
Say hi to Ada. Ada's great. And I'm 00 Daylight, DM, GM, narrator, game mother, whatever the system requires. This is the conclusion of Fallout Megasota, at least for now. So it's going to be an interesting place. And come back and join us for more Call of Cthulhu. We might even have to revisit Old Gods of Appalachia. We've got maybe some more Weird West coming. There's a lot of irons in the fire. So if you are on Twitch, go ahead and follow us. It's free. If you are watching us on YouTube and you haven't hit follow, hit like, leave a comment, whatever. And stay tuned, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody on YouTube.